The Big Call with Bruce, Thursday, August 10, 2017, Intel only. Welcome everyone to the Big Call tonight. Everyone just breathe in and relax and understand you are in a very good place because we are in an excellent situation to be notified very shortly. This is based on information I have had since Tuesday night call. Everything is moving along very nicely. I will tell you for a fact stuff I know that has been proven. We know that Iraq was released from Chapter 7. They had an announcement yesterday from the UN releasing them from Chapter 7. The IMF also made an announcement last night essentially saying the same thing, that they are released. To be released they would have to have a rate on their new Iraqi dinar. Do we know it? We sort of know it. We do not necessarily have it on the CBI site or totally global out there yet. We do have some indicators out there that it took place so the UN could release them from Chapter 7. The last thing that needed to happen for Iraq to be released from Chapter 7 was the new rate, and then have a new international tradable currency. Will they transition directly into Chapter 8? We don't know that for sure. I thought they automatically did that. Does it matter for us? Or is there a special provision for Iraq to transition into Chapter 8 from the Union? We don't know that. We are looking into it. They have moved along, so things are moving along nicely for them. There is a holiday today, or was a holiday today in Iraq. We believe the reason for the holiday was because they were in fact revaluing their currency. Hence that is why they had the ability to be released from Chapter 7 by the Union. That happened, and today, Thursday, was a holiday for them. Their holy day is Friday, which is starting there already. I think that is good, but I really think what is interesting is two facts. Not only they have been released from Chapter 7, but also the fact their ATMs are now operational with lower denoms. These are the lower ones. We would have $20 or $10 notes. Those ATMs in Iraq are finally operational in Iraq and also in Saudi Arabia and in Jordan. That was significant that they were operational in those two countries as well. When the lower denoms come out, we always said this, when they do come out, that is when we have proof the RV is taking place. I think that is still a good indicator for us. There wouldn't be lower denoms if the rate hadn't changed. The fills, the coins, would be available in the banks and in the stores over there. The lower denoms are available. That is good news. In cases where we know people have the new Chi cards, which are set up for oil and gas proceeds, profits that are shared among the citizens of Iraq, there is now a settled-in rate, 2-digit rate, now on those cards both in and outside of Iraq. We know people with those cards are able to see that rate, and we've been looking for that rate to drop in and be solid and not flickering. It is a solid 2-digit rate and some digits behind that which are still flickering, but enough of a rate showing that is a great indicator of things moving forward. Possibly the rate is getting ready to drop in any moment. The timing is really close. I don't know why it wouldn't be showing like it is and not be affected here shortly. I think it is a really good sign. That is happening. The lower denoms are out in the ATMs, and they are released from Chapter 7. Do you know how long we have been waiting for that news for them to be released from Chapter 7? It did take place. All of that is very positive. Our country. What are we doing over here? Where is the release of the 800 number so we in Tier 4 can set our appointments, do our exchanges and redeem our ZIM? I did hear the ZIM bonds and other platforms and other bonds have been pushed to Monday or Tuesday to be effective. That is a very good thing for us because our understanding is the currencies needs to be exchanged for 24 to 48 hours before those bond transactions are to be take place on Monday or Tuesday. Before that is to take place, those currencies we have need to be exchanged 24 to 48 hours before that. We are in really good shape in terms for that timing. What I am hearing today, everything is rolling out west very nicely and it has been a well orchestrated event. A lot of exchanges are taking place. Situations where everybody waiting becomes liquid and funds are accessible. I believe they are all staged like a preloaded for that to occur. I think by the fact they are so preloaded now, that could happen simultaneous when we are notified and thus qualify for the shotgun start. By getting everything from SKRs to other subgroups, and other smaller groups, Getting them hydrated is getting us indication that they are almost ready to go. We heard a lot of different comments what is going on out there. Things really look positive. Many exchanges have been done throughout the country, which some were used as a sting operation, and that occurred successfully. Everything is really moving along very well. I think we are in a position where anything could happen with this, and we could get the notification of the 800 number basically at any time. We are not going to say it will happen definitely tonight or tomorrow. We do believe the time is right there where it should go for the release to take place. We know where the rates are right now. Remember on Tuesday night we talked about Indonesia rupiah redenomination taking place. That is very positive. We are looking forward for this to go down here pretty soon. That is really what I wanted to say to everyone. What Iraq has done and what seems to be occurring in this country, getting everything to go to prepare for a shotgun start. A simultaneous release. We hear Tier 4, which we are members of, the internet group, that parts of Tier 4 have already started in some way out west. I think it is in the preparation mode, preparing for them to be hydrated. Then we would go when everything else would be going. It is a short intel segment because there is not a whole lot else we can bring. Then we are in a really good situation for this to take place. I am hearing specifically out there of rates that are really good and are loading in. I want to see that rate loading in for the dinar. I think that is a really good indicator. I think when I see that and have that rate, which should be at most any time, we should be able to go. That is the intel I have. Realize this, we all are in a position to move forward with this information. Move from a place of well-being, health, wisdom and knowledge of about what you are planning to do. I am excited as I was on Tuesday night's call. I talked about humanitarian projects. I know this much, that we have leveraged payouts that will take place if you are ZIM holders. Obviously we will have a skeleton trust set up for us. If you have another trust at the time of your initial exchange, then bring that paperwork into your appointment. If you don't use the skeleton trust that they build for you, you will have 6 months to modify, change, or replace that trust with a new trust. It will be a revocable trust. After that time of 6 months, that trust would officially default to an irrevocable trust or non-revocable trust. You will have time to get with your CPAs and attorneys to set up whatever trust you need. Don't go in the exchange location thinking if you have ZIM because of the large amount of the denomination, and because of the value on the screens and not counting the rates you can privately negotiate the ZIM for, that you will have immediate liquidity and be able to tail that money. Forget it. It won't happen. Don't be silly, because if you have ZIM notes, billions-dollar notes or even trillion-dollar notes, that turns into a lot of money you won't be able to pull out of the bank. Will you be able to access to it? Yes. Let them know how much you need for your humanitarian projects in the first 90 days so they can create that liquidity for you. Then let them know what you will need in the terms of liquidity in the second 90 days, and so on. By the time the third 90 days rolls around, I think the accessibility will be much greater at that time. However, you may say, I don't know how much money I am going to need. Don't worry about it. Just put a number out there that is reasonable, that you really think you can use in the first 90 days. Really, to be honest with you, rebuilding America, we may not be ready to go in a big way for 6 months or so. I have some idea what I want for liquidity. Keep that in mind. We will have the ability to have these leverage payouts for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years, with possibly now going to 50 years. Realize this depends on how much we are talking about, how much the leverage payout is, what your age and what your projects are, and the longevity of your projects. For me, I probably set it out as far out as I can go. Even if Bruce is not around, maybe a heir or someone else I have appointed as a trustee or beneficiary could take it and roll with it. You will have a trustee and successor trustees. Same thing with beneficiaries based on who be there if something happened. 2. You have successor beneficiaries if something happens to them. You will have 6 months to modify and add what you need to your trust. Don't take off on an around-the-world trip for 6 or 9 months and forget to modify your original skeleton trust. Just get with your attorney, your CPA. Set it up for what makes sense in what you want to do in terms of your projects, families, and everything what you have been thinking about for months and years in terms of this blessing and waiting for this to come through. I am excited. I think it wouldn't be surprised that anything could happen just at any moment now. We will just take it from there and see where it goes. I am ready. It is my 13th year. Sue, Bob, Kent and Pastor Stephen are ready. Stay in perfect faith for this. Stay positive. Your redemption draws nigh. Thank you everyone for listening and coming in around the globe and tuning in. Thank you Sue, Bob, Pastor Stephen, and Kent for everything you all do. Good night everyone. End highlights. More on IQD calls.